Notre Dame gets the bag from Micah Shrewsberry moving from Penn State to Notre Dame. Kevin, what do you make of this? Was this just the obvious move for Notre Dame given the year that he's coming off of?
I mean, it's a no brainer for them. I think it might have been a little bit challenging for Shrewsbury to leave a place that gave me opportunity that was, maybe not as invested as it needed to be in basketball in the past, but I think in recent days has really tried to pony up and be competitive and keep a guy that they thought could be the long-term leader of their program. But I think at the end of the day, right, he's an Indiana guy. He gets to come home. He gets reportedly over $4 million per year on a 7-year deal. That'll go a long way in South Bend. And I just think incredibly highly of Micah Shrewsberry and the job he did at Penn State, because I think it takes an incredible nerve and an incredible confidence in yourself to zig when everyone else zags. And he bought into a style of offense that he believed in that was so different than everyone else was doing in the Big Ten. And if it failed, right, like they didn't have a plan B size wise, right? Like if it failed and they just couldn't deal with anyone on the inside, they were going to go 12-20 this year. And he was like, I don't care. Like, I'm all in. I believe in this. I believe in what we have. I believe in the guys we're recruiting, the style of style of player we're involved with. And it got Penn State to the NCAA tournament. And that's no small feat at that place. And didn't just get him there, got him to the Big Ten championship game, got him right in the game at the very end against a really excellent Texas team, right? Like, just to have that confidence as a first-time head coach, to me, just speaks volumes about the guy he will be for the next 15 years as a college coach. Because I just think when you have that level of belief and trust in yourself and what you're building, you're going to be successful. And I think he'll do really good things at Notre Dame.
LaBelle, real quickly,
Yes,
got
sir.
a couple of minutes here in the ACC, which is maybe not the ACC that we've seen, the last several years. I mean, can this be quick for Mike and his staff?
Today's episode is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, the easiest place to play college basketball pick'em, where you can get a little extra sweat during March Madness and win real cash prizes simply by picking player stats in this weekend's games. In pick'em, all you do is predict whether a player will go higher or lower on Underdog's projected totals, whether that's points, rebounds, whatever. For example, if you're like me and you think Zach Edey is going to go nuts in this tournament, pick higher on his points projection, add up to 4 more picks, and if you hit them all, you can win 20 times your money on a single game. Underdog's slick mobile app is easy enough that dummies like Jeff Goodman have even figured it out. So go to underdogfantasy.com or download the app and use the code FIELD, FIELD, and Underdog will match your deposit up to $100. Now is the time to get in on the madness. So remember, underdogfantasy.com, promo code FIELD.
Look, with the portal now, anything can happen quickly.
Yep.
And in terms of and Micah did that, fairly quickly at Penn State, getting guys to mesh, coming up with a unique way that could, kind of shock the league in a lot of ways. With the small ball and the, what you guys call it. I love it. They call it booty ball with Pickett. He was out there like Mark Jackson, old school. But, Micah, obviously he was at IU South Bend. That was his first head coaching job. So he's been there. So it's coming home. I know him really well. He's got Butler ties with his family and all. So we talk. I actually talked to him right before they went to the Big Ten tournament, and he was just trying to get a win. He wasn't worried about jobs or anything. He just wanted to get into the tournament because they weren't completely in. Here the ACC, when you look and you say, all right, Duke's Duke, Carolina's Carolina, but Coach K's gone and so is Roy Williams.
Mm-hmm.
Boeheim just retired, and Tony Bennett's still at Virginia, and Leonard Hamilton's still at Florida State. Florida State was injury riddled this year and had some suspensions and things like that. But when you think about the top of the ACC in recent history, it's Florida
Miami,
State,
right?
Yeah, Duke, Carolina, Miami.
Yep.
After that, it's open.
No doubt.
Right. And so you're saying, hey, Pitt, Jeff Capel made a run this year. Clemson was winning the ACC at one point this year. Kevin Keats has done a good job of, taking advantage of the portal and getting NC State back. Wake Forest, Steve Forbes comes into Wake Forest and got it right now. Like, they were in the tournament right away. So why can't Micah Shrewsberry do that at Notre Dame Damon Stoudemire down to Georgia Tech, these new guys coming into the league. Tony Bennett ain't going anywhere. Huber's he's got to figure it out, but they're going to get talent at Carolina and Duke and Shire. He did a heck of a job in year one. But, after you get past like 4, it's open, man. And so Micah's going to, what he gets, he'll work with. He's proven that. Like he worked with what he had, Penn State. You had to be unique. You had to. Right? You can't go in there and do what everybody else is doing in the league when you're at Penn State. Challenge at Notre Dame is, you're in the Midwest, but you're playing in the ACC. And so it's hard. When kids grow up in Indiana, they want to go to Indiana or Purdue. It's hard to get Indiana kids. Mike Brey did a good job with the DMV kids, with the East Coast kids, recruiting them to come to Notre Dame because they were going to go back home and play near their families out that way. And then the admission stuff, like transfers getting in with the portal being what it is now. You got to be able to get transfers in terms of the admissions piece. So, but I'm sure he talked about that before he took the job, right? He wouldn't have taken it. He wouldn't have taken it. So
exactly.
I'm excited for him, man. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does with it.